All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Shit I'm 30. I'm your host, Carla, and I have here in the studio with me two friends. They're here from Orlando. I feel like you guys are like socialites in Orlando.
Kind of are. Yeah, that word has been thrown around a lot.
Yeah, so, see, I feel it because you guys are always I have fun through you guys because people are like, oh, you have so much fun in yours. I'm like, I'd be lying. I'm on for 30 minutes and I elongate my stories to make it seem like I'm out all night. Right. Really not. Or I'll post one from yesterday and then again the next day. It was a different angle. So it'll just come out Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm not. I'd be lying. But you guys are here. Thank you for coming, by the way. I've been wanting to this episode with you guys. So it's Anthony. You go by Anthony?
Yes.
Yes. And Gabby, you go by Gabby or Gabriella?
Gabby, Gabriella.
Okay, Gabby.
Yeah.
Whichever one. Well, anyway, so before we start the episode, I want to do an icebreaker with you guys. And I figured this would be kind of funny. So since you said you haven't slept all night, and you guys are really good friends, let's do like some friendship questions.
Okay.
Right.
This is a scenario. You guys go out on a Friday night, like usual, you know, have a great time, hang out. Then Saturday morning comes around. One of you guys has a mugshot, and the other one had a one-night stand. Which one's which?
I'm definitely the mugshot.
Because I was about to say I was the mugshot.
No.
So, yeah, no.
No, I don't really have one night stands.
I don't have one night stands.
But you guys
either.
was drinking and we were having a good time.
That's the thing. I don't meet people in the club. Like I don't like that whole meet you at the club and come home and have sex. That's not my thing. No. I'm more likely to get in a fight.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
So both
We'll probably both be in jail.
Right.
So both of y'all went to jail and might have had a one-night stand in jail.
Right, exactly.
Maybe.
Right.
And they give you life overnight. Okay, so in your friendship, who's Beyonce and who's Michelle?
I'm definitely Beyonce.
In this friendship,
We're talking about the
this friendship, she would be Beyonce. But I am not Michelle. I am Kelly. I am Kelly Rowland. So I will allow her to be Beyonce in this particular
He could be Nikki though. He could be Nikki, or I'll be Nikki. It's
Right.
fine.
Well, no, there's no Nikki
There's
and
no
Destiny's
Nikki.
Child.
There's no
but
Nikki
it-
and Destiny's
But
Child.
she could be a whole nother person, you know,
Okay.
a whole nother celebrity.
We're adding Nikki.
I'm the
Nikki.
Beyonce, really, but I just let her.
But you let her be.
I let her
You know
be.
what? Kelly
It's the
does
gentleman.
that.
Right, and this is exactly why
Kelly
I
lets her take the shine.
Exactly.
So you stand
'cause
back.
Kelly can out-sing fucking Beyonce if you ask me. So yeah.
You go ahead and tell them. Are you going to the
Whatever.
concert?
Of course.
Oh, I see. I saw her in Coachella, so I didn't feel a need to like go to this.
Girl.
And I saw On the Run the first
Me
one.
too.
Okay.
I seen it the first time.
I love this album. I'm a big Beyonce fan. So yeah, this album between her and Jay-Z is like so like pro black love and everything. So
You think so?
Yes. Oh my god.
I don't mind it. The thing is, I hear so many people like, no, I can't even listen to it because she's like, he done cheated on me, and you're trying to say that we can. All this bullshit. I'm like, y'all need to relax.
It's showing how normal they are. It's like, hey, yeah, he fucked up, but
a lot.
yeah, he did.
Over
but
and
guess
over.
what? We're
And
getting
over
through
and
it.
over
We're
again.
trying. We're
Tell me
doing
about it, because my nigga fucked up a lot over and over, and I'm still here.
Please. Let's not even get on that.
It be like that sometimes.
Right.
They
right.
change sometimes. I don't know if I recommend it
Right.
to most people, but shit happens.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so Beyonce and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. I don't know who I am. Rihanna.
You're
You see, that's how I
Good
said
answer.
Nikki.
Yeah,
Good
I'm a mesh between Rihanna and Cardi, depending on how I'm feeling during the day.
Really?
Depending on
Yeah.
how you want to go.
Yes.
I can see that. I get that a lot from you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
both
it's a
of
good
them?
mix. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
it's
It
a
is.
mix.
It is.
I can act real ignorant if I need to. Real fucking ignorant.
We have to party together, Carl. I don't think we've had a situation where we've just like.
We
partied
haven't.
together.
We've been out a few times,
She's
but
coming to my birthday party. That's the perfect opportunity.
listen. So she sends me this message. I said, okay, I need you to relax. She sends 2 flyers, and I said, okay, so can we? First of all, weekday. Granny here don't even know how to do the weekdays,
On a
and then
Wednesday.
2 different days.
Because one's a dinner and the other one's the party. So you pick. Or you can come to both, like some of my friends. Most of my friends.
Oh Lord! See y'all, you guys are young. We're the same
Girl,
age.
no.
We're all the
I
same.
passed 30.
age.
I'm 30.
Maybe the kid situation.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe the kid. I can
Okay.
use that as my excuse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can use
but the
that.
club is like, the club has become so old to me now. It's like if I'm not making money, I don't want to go out.
Right.
Like that's the thing. There's no reason for me to be in the
You
club
out there
now.
getting a chick. And if I was out there getting a chick, trust me, I'd be there every
I'd be
night
there
too.
too,
Because when
right.
I was getting that chick, I was out there 6 nights a week.
Right.
Exactly.
My friends invite me out like, hey, like, there's no money involved for me, so why am I
He
coming?
makes fun of me because he's always like, you found your niche. Like, he's like, all these guys from the club that have money, they all buy hats from you. I'm like, what? that's my purpose of going out. I meet people. I see it, scout them out.
And you
wants
sell
to
some
buy a
houses.
house. I always ask everybody, you want to buy a house? And then, that's how it goes.
or a condo, or like
Or
a big
whatever,
mansion,
Right, whatever.
She's like a man. She networks in the strip club. Like that's what she found her clients. Like usually you think that's like left to men to do, but no, she goes there and actually comes out with clients buying $500,000 houses. And
Hello.
like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yes,
like,
girl.
You're not at the strip club,
right? Well,
You meet sometimes. There's
You're
like a
not a
bunch
strip
of
club.
personalities.
They took me to the strip club one time. It was a girls' brunch, and I went with them. I had pink pants on, and it was like a Sunday fun day thing. So we ended up, we did brunch. We went to Ember, and then we went out to Native, and it was like, oh, we're going to the strip club. But you see how I'm dressed? Like this is.
I'm wearing pink pants.
I'm wearing pink pants, like this, and they're dress pants on top of that. Like we went, and it was so uncomfortable. She was right at home. She moved bitches out the way, sat down, got her bottle, pour her drink, and I'm sitting on the side, just all crunched
What
up,
am I
like,
doing here?
Why am I here? Like I'm so uncomfortable.
People know me over there already. so
I
it's
love
fine.
the strip club. My boyfriend doesn't though. So when we go, it's very rare. And I like to go. It's fun to me, but I can see how you can feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, women for one, it's just like they just attack me and just feel like I'm like it's so uncomfortable because they just think I'm straight, and it's like okay, like y'all barking up the wrong tree. Like go ahead and dance on down.
You cute or whatever, but go on to the next one.
If you're gonna do a trick, I just want to see a trick. That's it. But just don't,
Teach me the trick.
Right? How do you do that? Little
That's
lady
literally
dance?
what I go. I'm amazed at. I feel like women's bodies are beautiful, and I see them doing their tricks, and I'm like, girl, if I try that, I'd probably fart. Like what?
Girl, yeah.
There'd be
I know how to
nothing
do
cute about it.
And then I just don't understand the whole concept of throwing money on strangers too. I can't get past that. And I ask all my friends, like, what is the draw to just come and just waste your money on girls that you won't take home or won't do
might.
anything with?
They might.
You never know.
But
It's like a. Some people go shopping.
Most of the time they don't though. So
Yeah, some buy bottles, some go shopping, some just like to see ass shaking.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know do that much, but I like throwing other people's money. I enjoy that part.
Yeah, she comes home with like $200 in ones and just like, yeah, he gave me all this money to throw. I
I
just
don't-
put half of it in my
Oh,
purse.
me too. Girl, what?
I'm gonna use half.
Yeah, I only throw half.
500,
And if whatever I throw
300,
and falls back on my lap,
like
It's
scoop
yours.
that
Now,
bitch back up.
now I gotta take big purses to the club because before I was like, well, shit, where do I put this money at?
I know.
When
So-
I just bring big purses, I'm like,
Did you guys see 50 Cent and he took all his money
Listen,
back?
that was fucking. I was in tears.
Right.
That nigga had
I
me in
relate.
tears.
I relate. I would have done the same thing. Like, oh, bitch, you acting funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Scrape my
I
money
just
up.
did the episode with Ika that she's a stripper
Yes.
here,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about customer service and being nice and
Right.
working the club. Clearly, they didn't listen to Shit on 30 podcast
Mm-hmm.
because he clearly said there was not good customer service.
Right.
They had an attitude, and he took his money back. But I think he gave it to a bartender.
so what? Like that's the thing. That's why strippers and bartenders are always in a feud because why is the girl that's not shaking her butt in front of him getting the money? You know what I'm saying? Like no.
Well, see, in New York, it's different because
Yeah, it is because they do. But
the
yeah, but the money was
pool-
already there. Basically, like stripper laws, that money is already there. It belongs to you. Like don't touch it because it's in your area. That's my money.
Right, but the girl had an attitude. Whatever it was, I think is hilarious. And if 50 Cent is around, he's the biggest troll. Don't fuck with him.
Don't
Yeah,
fuck with him.
don't.
Because he's looking for content at all
wants
times.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't
he
do it.
wants it.
Well, outside of us being in the strip club and and hanging out and ending up with mugshots, if we were, hypothetically, they are real estate agents.
Yes.
So is there a difference between realtor and real estate agent?
No. It's just,
Realtor is a designation. It's like being part of a club in a sense.
Okay.
It's like a certification.
So are you guys realtors?
Yeah, we're
we
realtors.
are.
okay.
We are referrals to us real estate agents. It's really serves the same purpose. It's just that
One of them is in
they
a club,
like
one's not?
basically copyrighted the realtor term for people that belong
yeah.
to them.
Gotcha.
To be a realtor, you have to follow certain ethics
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. So
Oh,
a
see, I
real
can't do
estate
that.
agent, you just pass the test and then boom, you're a real estate agent. Boom,
Gotcha.
You're a
real
realtor,
estate
you're part of the board.
The board. Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, before we get into the whole real estate thing, we're going to do shit you should know. And this week, I wanted to talk about a medical school in Tokyo who they just found out that for over a decade, they have been deliberately cutting women's entrance test scores and claiming that they didn't have any knowledge of it. Of course, I'm sure they were lying. So I feel like this article shows that how men ain't shit everywhere, globally.
Hello.
we're dealing with hierarchy from men to women everywhere. And as women, we need to come together. So they're putting the women's test scores lower, and they're raising the men. They were raising the men's scores by up to 49 points to get more men into the medical school than women. They were saying that, you know, over there in Tokyo, that's Japan, right?
Yeah, Japan.
Now. We've been drinking.
Yep.
It hit me faster than I think it was. Because now I'm like, my nose is hot.
I had a cocktail before I came here, so yeah.
Oh, Lord. So yeah, so they're raising the men's scores, lowering the women's, getting all these women in. They're saying women are a liability because they have children, then they want to leave and have a family. Men have children too. But that's what I don't understand when I've talked about before. Child support. Men are like, oh, but why? Our life just does change. And look at what we're taking from employers. Like, oh, you're going to have a baby, you have to leave. No, I can get a babysitter just like you can. Or how about your ass stay home?
Right.
Okay?
Double
But
standards.
it's so wrong that they were doing this for over a decade. So these women were just as smart, if not smarter than these men. And they're knocking their test scores down, you know, to not get them in.
You know, isn't that culture, the whole Asian and Japan culture is, you know, it's a very patriotic society.
It
they don't, if they have a woman or whatever, when they're pregnant, they'll go ahead and like throw them off on the street or something,
Yes,
kill them.
not shelters, the adoption places. What are they called? Oh my God, I can't think of the name. Whatever. What is the? No, I have to think of the name. The
I know what you're
adoption.
talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is all filled with little girls.
Yeah.
So they have kids and they send off the girls to adoption. They keep the boys.
The boys.
Because the boys
It
are
was like
precious.
that back in the dynasty days. You know, they were only allowed to like keep the boys, and if they didn't have a boy,
Right.
like, it was so crazy.
Yeah, and so they still have that mentality out there. We still have that mentality here at times. Yes, and sometimes I say we can take a step back and look at where other countries still are, and we've gotten ahead of that, but we're still dealing with that shit here.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a president that doesn't think women are anything. We have men, and I'm in the corporate world, and I see it all the time. At least with the company that I'm with right now is actually run by quite a bit of women, and our CEO is a woman. But you see it all the time, and it's just we have to stand together as women. We need to, you know, make sure that we keep this movement going.
Yeah.
And sometimes it seems like it's just like we're not gonna get anywhere. Like yesterday, I think it was the Women's Day where it takes 17 months for a woman to get to where a man was in December.
Right. It was
And-
Black Women's Day, right?
Yes, so it's black women.
Equal pay.
Black women,
Equal
equal pay.
pay.
Day.
Equal pay.
Yeah.
So whatever a man made from January 2017 to December 2017, it just now made black women now made the same in August 2017.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's where we live in.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And I feel bad for women all over the world. I feel bad for the women here, for us,
Woman power. That's what we gotta keep doing. You know, woman empowerment.
Instead
like,
of-
seminars, we gotta come together. By the way, you know, we're doing like I Am Brave, which is a
I've
women's
heard of it.
seminar in September, which is really good for anybody that wants to come. It's really, really good. A bunch of professional women, you know, all kinds of professions.
we have to keep women
We
together
have to.
because if we don't, what's going to happen? The men are going to keep taking
and encourage
over.
each other because most
And
of
not
them
only-
are scared of saying, you know, or speaking up, you know, about like why am I getting treated this way or why can I get
Because the
same,
men
you know-
on top
exactly
Like I said, are men.
Yes.
But also we need to have men that are our allies and men that stand with us and beside us, not behind us, not in front of us. We can all stand together in the same plane and say, we're women, and here are some men that are saying, you know, you guys are right, let me help you guys out.
Right. That's why the gay guy and the straight female relationship is so precious, because we actually do support women, and we're right there, you know, on the front line with you guys. Advocating for you, and the same thing for you know, gay equal rights. You know, women are just right there with us as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a fight that we have to get into together and just make sure everything is equal across the board.
I would love for more men to stand up for women.
Definitely.
And there are plenty out there that do it. But you know what?
that's I think the hardest thing, changing their mentality, because it was just they were raised away that way, and you know, like that
It's
macho
society.
mentality, you know, and
it's a toxic masculinity that
Has
we
to
do have to
break the
deal
pattern.
with. But hey,
I believe in a matriarchal society. The women in my family actually ran the family. My grandmother, you know, she was the head, you know, the boss, and my mother came second. And so I'm used to women, running things, and I actually think they actually do it a lot better than men. I was so disappointed when Hillary didn't win because I thought, oh my God, this is going to be such a leap for this country.
How amazing would it be the day, which I don't think we'll see while we're on this earth, but when men and women are running things together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you imagine?
I'm still waiting for Michelle to run for president.
Child, she's sitting in that mansion, hanging out, sucking that Obama's dick all day and night.
I'm good, love. Enjoy.
Right.
My man is not about to get another goddamn gray hair in his balls because of you
Look how this man look. You know how much stress y'all motherfuckers brought into this household?
Right.
They don't know. Y'all on y'all own. We gonna stick jet ski and
Hello.
just living our life while y'all over here stressing.
They're not worried about
this no more.
Talking about events, I do want to go ahead and let everyone know that we have that event August 24th. I'm doing the speed friending.
Yes.
So I try to explain it to my little ratchet friends. It's like speed dating with no fucking.
Mm-hmm.
I just want us to meet each other. I feel like Orlando is a large city, but small crowds, different everywhere. And I'm like, let's all get together.
Let's network. Let's
Create
change
like
ideas.
straight men, women, gay men, like trans. I don't care who it is.
Yes.
Spanish, black, white, yellow. Like, I don't give a damn.
We're gonna be there.
We can't grow forward if we continue to be separate. And that's why I try to tell my friends, like, hey, we all need to do something together. Like, this generation, these millennials that
we support each other.
We need to support each other.
Right. And I feel like at this age, like you said, you want to go to the club. I might come through for a little bit, shake this little left cheek a little bit. But I don't like the clubbing scene for me. Like you said, if I'm not getting a check or if you're there getting clients, you're there getting your money.
If there's no purpose,
I'll be tired.
Right.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Yes.
But I love me a brunch and I love me a get together and to meet people that I can, if I'm hanging out and having a few drinks, which I love, I don't like to have a drink at home by myself.
Right.
Yep.
So if I'm having a drink and there's good music and I'm meeting people that later on I can do something business-wise with, why not?
Right.
So I thought this event was going to be great. So it's going to be at Loud Gallery downtown August 24th.
I love the Loud Gallery, people.
It's so pretty.
Yes.
Oh, I love it in there. So from 6 to 10. And then we also have an announcement for a live show coming up very soon after. So we can record live and everybody can be a part of the show.
Yes. And it's unlimited drinks, right? It's like unlimited wine.
Yeah, so there's free entry and then you can get pay for your free unlimited sangria, mimosa. Yeah.
Yes,
Perfect.
It's going to be fun.
It's awesome.
We have a few games and hang out for a little while. So going back to the realtor thing, I saw this question and I said I needed to do an episode about this. So I figured, let me get you guys, since you guys are in the front line out here in Orlando and you guys are doing this thing. Fun fact, I got my real estate license when I was 18.
Oh.
I turned 18, I took the test, I passed it, and boom, the market crashed.
Right.
It was the big crash, like a month after I got my license.
Yes.
And I said, oh, fuck this shit.
Right.
And I got back on my dad's like, no, keep doing it. And I was like, and I let it go. I never went back.
I wanted to do real estate in high school. I actually went to my guidance counselor. I got accepted to UCF to come down here. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to, get my real estate license. I'm going to sell real estate. And she was like, okay, it sounds good. The real estate market is booming, but you can't focus on school and focus on real estate. So pick one. Thank God I made the responsible decision because my mom and them was like, no, fuck no. You taking your ass to school. And I did. And then, like you said, shortly afterwards, the market crashed.
It crashed.
So you just didn't continue?
No, I let it go. I had just had my daughter. So that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And it crashed. And I was just like, Dad, I don't want to do this. He's like, no, dude. I'm like, He really wanted me to do it because my dad has a ton of properties. And he wanted me to buy the properties for him. I didn't have no time. I said, this shit, you're not buying anything anytime soon. We're not selling. No, I'm done.
Right.
But I did see this question which says, I'm about to move out for the first time and I'll be renting an apartment. I've heard so many people say, wow, $2,000 a month for rent. You might as well be paying a mortgage. It's left me feeling conflicted. Is there a certain amount of money that is just too much for a place that you won't even own? I could get a 1-bedroom apartment that isn't as nice for probably about $1,500 or a really nice apartment for $2,000. So this is a question that I feel when you're maybe, I would say between 25 and then when you turn 30, you're like, do I still rent? Do I buy an apartment?
Right.
I was told by my family always like, just buy, get it. But sometimes that's not feasible for some people. It depends where you live, what you want to do, if you're going to stay there for a long time or not. So this question is what brought me into it. Let's talk about real estate. This is something that we really don't know much about. People think about if somebody buy a house, bitch, they got money.
No, and not necessarily because that is
a myth.
A myth because think about it, $2,000 a month. If you multiply it by 12 months in a lease, right? That's $24,000 a year that you're gonna throw away and never see back. Never.
Ever.
Not only that, but to rent, now you need the first month, the last month, and the deposit. So that's $6,000 off bet, right? That could be used towards your down payment if you have okay credit, which people will be surprised because FHA loans start at 580. You don't even need to have a 700 credit score.
Right.
Of course, the better your credit score, the better your interest rate.
Right.
But you don't need to have a perfect credit. And then obviously for a conventional loan, 640 and up, is a better deal. But still, that FHA loans,
What is FHA?
FHA is type of loan that is government insured, basically.
It's Federal Housing Authority.
It's federal housing, exactly.
So basically it's a government loan. It's federally insured. So they have like lower ratios, and it's easier to qualify for. It's usually like your first time home buyer loan that people go for.
All right.
Conventional is our private money lending. So you need a higher credit score in order to qualify for
Less risk for the bank.
Yeah, and
It's
it's less risk for the
and then
bank.
you don't need that much insurance. Because
Exactly.
obviously, the less money you put, the more your insurance is higher because the less, you put less money.
Right.
But you have the opportunity for the FHA loan to put, even with conventional loans now, you can even put 3% down, 3.5% down.
It's some that you don't have to put no money down.
No money, exactly.
Yeah.
Some programs, if you
Wait,
qualify.
there's houses you can buy a house with
Yes.
no
Zero.
money down.
Yes,
Zero
there's so
down.
many different programs.
You have to see where do you fit in, because
Yeah.
obviously there's windows and there's certain incomes that qualify for those type of programs.
So you have to have a job
Yes.
to buy a house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least 2 years. Let's say
2
that.
years.
2 years of steady income.
2 years of steady income.
Yeah.
And it can be like, I work for myself.
Yes. If you file taxes on it.
That's the thing. Yeah, you have to claim it on your taxes, because some self-employed people, they write off everything and
Right, so
say,
they don't
"Hey, you
have to
only
pay child
made
support.
$5,000 a year," and it's
Right.
like you can't. On paper, you can't prove that you can't
Exactly.
afford to buy a house.
Right.
So self-employment is it's a tricky situation. But yeah, if you're W-2, yeah, you definitely, as long as you prove your income, your credit is okay, it's good, and you have the down payment. Yeah, you.
And self-employed
it's
too.
easy.
You just have to be self-employed for 2 years and file your taxes for those 2 years.
And have an okay
Okay
income.
credit and okay income.
And I
that's
feel
it.
like people, we talked about this with Miss Kimberly in the money episode, and it's people don't realize that you can fix your credit pretty damn easy
You can.
yourself without
can.
having to pay somebody or arm and a leg to do what
Absolutely.
you can do yourself.
You're 100%.
So you can put yourself on a plan and say, you know what, I want to buy a house in a year. So for the next year, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And within a year, you can get your 100 points up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, what's the worst credit score y'all have seen?
We're buying a house, 580.
That's the worst?
That's the worst.
Well, that's the worst.
To qualify to buy.
No, I mean, what's the worst you've seen?
Oh,
in the
Jesus.
400s, in the 400s, in the 400s.
Fours, like-
and then they can't really do.
Yeah, you
much.
can't do nothing with that.
You gotta send them to fix their
How does
credit.
somebody get to a 400 though?
I don't even know how
Missing
that's
payments.
possible.
You know what? 33% of your credit score is paying on time.
Yeah.
If you miss by a day, that drops your credit score.
No, let me tell you what just happened to me. So I have really good credit score, and god damn it, I done finished school, and these damn student loans came
that
for me.
happened to me too.
So I was like, oh, I'll call them later. I ain't ready for this. I'll call them later. Now keep in mind, I can pay for my shit, but I don't want to because I'm like, bro, I don't want to pay for this shit. 90 days hit, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I get a thing from Credit Karma. Sometimes they send me emails and they be like, something happened, blah, blah. My credit score dropped 150
Yeah.
points.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Imagine that. Your heart.
My heart stopped.
At least you found out when you wasn't trying to apply for credit.
Bill, let me tell you, I called them real quick and I said, ring, can I pay my student loan now? Like,
Right.
put me on a payment plan right now. We need to
Right.
figure this out instantly because y'all just fucked up my credit. Now I'm like, I'm gonna have to start working all over again.
I went years ago. I was trying to buy a car, and back then my credit score was in the 7s and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm good. And I went ahead and applied for it. And it was like, oh, your credit score is in like in the low 6s. I'm like, what? That is not possible. And I saw it. My student loans hit, and it dropped my credit score.
I'm pissed.
And then I didn't change my address, so the payment.
Oh no, I got my alerts and I just was ignoring them.
Credit
I wasn't
Karma is
right.
free. You guys can monitor your credit
Yes.
right there. Just make sure you're on top of it.
And that's how I
every
did
month.
mine.
Right, but I was young. Of course, it was like out of sight, out of mind. I don't
And
care.
that's the thing, when
they
you're
can't
young,
call
I had no
me.
You don't
fucking
stress
excuse.
that.
I got the money and I'm old as fuck. I had no excuse to do this
Right,
shit.
right.
No, but even when you're young, you're like, oh, who cares about
Oh no, that's how I did it. I remember when I was
exactly.
18, I got an Old Navy card because they approved me, and I was like, oh,
You're like,
great.
"Ooh, I'm gonna go shopping."
I'll never forget because I bought $42 worth of shit. That's it. I forgot all about that card. A couple years later, it was up to $700 and something dollars.
Oh, God.
How?
I said, I spent $42. Why didn't I just pay this shit?
crazy. Yeah.
It's so that messed up my credit. But I never had many credit cards to like fuck it up too bad. But
Did your parents teach you about?
not a damn thing.
Me
That's
either.
another thing.
And that's the thing about us being black. And I discovered this in school. And I actually went off my mom about it. I was like, why didn't you teach me anything about
In
finances
Spanish
and
too,
credit?
because honestly, in our culture, when you're Spanish, your parents teach you to save and then pay up for stuff. So not really use credit. You
Right.
know, you
My
like
I
they
don't
like
remember my
to
parents
pay
with
up.
credit cards.
Yeah, no, they like to pay for stuff. When they have it, they save, and then when
Right.
they have it, they buy.
My family
but
did
not
too.
like really credit. So you're like, oh,
So
how do I use
we
this?
wasn't taught the importance of credit and how credit works. So
Right.
in school, same thing with you. I got a credit card and then it was $200 and it jumped up to $500 and then it jumped up to $1,000 and then I was just like, oh, I spend it all and it's like, oh, okay. And then I quit Dillard's because I was like, I was above this. I got my refund check and I was like, fuck this, I'm rich. I don't need this no more. And then them bills started to pile up and it's like, oh, I couldn't afford to pay this credit card anymore. No one taught me credit
I
responsibility.
couldn't believe that from $42, it was like $700 in fees.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm like,
interest and
I
fees.
could have bought. You trying to tell me I could have bought me $700 worth of stuff in Old Navy and Gap?
Right.
But I only got
Yeah,
42.
Exactly.
I was pissed.
But on the bright side, let me tell you something. Since you mentioned if you're 24 to 27 in that
Right.
age type of group, I bought my first house, my first place in Miami when I was 24. And I kept it for about 5 years. Then I decided to move back to Orlando. When I sold it, I made about $200,000,
Hello.
right, on it.
She did.
With
yeah.
the down payment that I had put plus the equity that I built on my first property, when I was 29 and I moved to Orlando, I was able to buy my house cash
That's awesome.
and have no payments. And so if you invest when you're young, the younger you start, the better, because the more equity you're
People
gonna
don't
build, the
see
more-
that, and then that's one thing that I was taught about renting. It's like my dad would say, they're throwing the money in the fire. They're throwing money in the fire. That's
Yep.
like that was his thing,
It
in the
is.
fire. And
Right.
I
It is because
tried-
you will never see it back. It's
No,
like you will never see it
and
back.
I understand, like, let's say someone in New York, and they're working over there, and they're starting their life out. You can't just go and buy property in New York,
No.
in the city.
It's
Like,
very
it's
expensive.
millions of dollars, and who
Yeah.
got money for that? Not I. I know good and well if I go over there, I'm going to be living with the rats.
But
right
Orlando
now.
is not one of those cities.
Right. So I say, if that's not where you need to be, find somewhere else. Or if it is where you need to be, put yourself on a plan. It might take 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
But you need to have a plan to do it. But you're saying you don't need a 580 and 2 years worth of income, and you can find something.
Yes.
But
So if you have, really, almost everybody has been working for 2 years. Because if you haven't been working for 2 years, what are you doing?
But does it have to be the same job?
Not necessarily, but it has to be just as long as you didn't skip like months of not working.
Okay.
And it's in the same kind of line of work, or at least you're still employed. You're you consistently employed during the 2 years. It's fine.
And just to get a little bit more deep into it, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same job, but it just can't be, oh, I went from being a CEO to a company, now I'm a fry cook at
Right.
McDonald's.
Right.
That does not count because it's
Right,
a big
that's
change.
a
And
hell of a
Kind of the
deal.
same
But yeah,
line.
it has to show. You have to have a stable income, and also when I say a 580 credit score, it's not that my credit score is a 580, I can go buy a house. It depends on what's your credit score, like what's on your credit.
Oh, okay.
If you have some things like if your income to debt ratio is high and everything, banks just look at the
That's
risk.
something
Yeah.
that I hear a lot. Income to debt
income.
ratio.
Yes, yes.
So it's like
Very
So
important.
your income needs to be higher than your debt payments, or than your
Basically.
debt.
Obviously.
Basically. So let's say, for example, the way they'll break it down is that, your monthly bills, you make $4,000. However, it costs you $3,500 to live. So you actually have like a $500 like worth
left
of like
over.
money left over. You really can't afford $1,100, monthly payment on a mortgage.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Unless
that's why you
they
have to
take
change
also
that.
into consideration how much you're paying rent.
Yeah, they
Because
take.
obviously you're not gonna pay that rent no more. So, but it depends. Exactly, it depends on your debt to income ratio. The best thing that I could recommend to anybody is to talk to a mortgage lender or talk to us, because we can recommend a mortgage lender that could work with you and tell you what are the steps that you need to follow. Because if that's your goal, you need to know where you're at and what do you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just scared to just like, oh no, I probably won't
So you guys
qualify.
work with a broker,
Yeah.
Under-
a mortgage
under a broker.
So-
No, not really. We have different different mortgage brokers. You can go with anybody, really. You know,
And they're the ones that give you that get
obviously
you the money.
they get you approved,
So-
and there's different lenders out there. Obviously, we have our preferred lenders because we have seen so many times where we're under contract and they pick their own lender, and it's not really a good lender. That they're like, they overlook the paperwork, like, yeah, you're approved, and then 5 days before closing, they're like, oh no, we're sorry, we didn't take into consideration this and that, and then you're not approved and you're not closing in your house.
I'll be damn.
Yes.
So everybody specializes in something. Realtors
Yes.
specialize in sales and negotiations. And, we know the market. We know exactly, what prices are going for. We know exactly what angle to come to get you what you need. Mortgage people focus on the money and the finances. Like, people come to me all the time like, hey, I deal with the negotiations and sales. Now, when it comes to the money part, the finances, a mortgage broker specializes in that. So, yeah, they'll be able to let you know. And some people, the reason why they don't buy houses is because they look at their credit and they're so overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I'm like $50,000 in debt or something like that. Or
Right.
loans, you're only making, $7,000.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay.
So different people have different, let's say, scenarios or things that they're going through.
Right.
So I'm sure every client you guys see that sits in front of you, they have
Different
either kids or the boyfriend or the husband, or something had happened to them, school, no school, they just lost their job, got a new job. So I do have some letters in from certain people. They're like, oh, you know what? I'm going through this. Let's talk about it. So I figured, okay, let's ask the experts, because I don't know. I'm going to tell your ass, like, go buy you a mansion. Fuck it. Like, spend all your money. I don't know. Let's try this one.
All right.
This one says, hey, I've been dating my man for 2 years, and recently during a casual conversation with him, I found out he's planning to buy a home. This is with his brother in the next few months. We don't live together currently, but we do talk about getting married. I feel like if he's buying a home with his brother, it means two things. He really doesn't see me in his future, because he should mention it to me early on. Or two, he ain't trying to marry me anytime soon. We aren't spring chickens, and it's been 2 years, which I feel that's enough time to start making concrete plans for marriage. This news makes me feel like this is a dead-end relationship. Am I tripping?
Well, communication, right?
Have you guys seen anything like this?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
So I have a rule of thumb. If you're not married, do not go into a commitment with the house, because it's That's a 30-year commitment.
Yes.
Don't buy a house if you're not married with someone.
That's a
Most
good
people
one.
make a mistake. You never know what might happen. Next year you'll wake up, and I see this happens all the time. You'll wake up and it's like, hey, this is not the person I plan to be with. However, I'm stuck because I'm stuck in a mortgage.
Right.
So, yeah, don't do that. If you're married, then yeah, have those. First comes marriage, then you buy a house.
And maybe you don't know what the plans he have. Maybe he's like planning on buying this property to start building his credit, his investment, his equity, and then later on be able to buy a house with that, or have that as a income, a side income. You never know.
But that could be.
That
she
could
didn't
be.
specify. Was it like, is he going into an investment with his brother?
Yeah,
because
because if it's an investment, it's a type of business. So it's.
It could have been for investment purposes.
Yeah,
Right.
and if it's investment purpose,
It depends.
Short-term investment.
She has to ask him what is his plans. Really, communication.
Yeah.
Right.
That's basically it. Like, okay, what are your plans with the
That house doesn't mean that they're not
Whatever.
going to get married. one
Exactly.
day.
That I think that doesn't have to.
Kim
do
brought that
with
up, and
anything.
she's like, when she talk about couples, she only talk to married couples when it comes to finances. Like, if you are not married,
I don't see why any of our money need
Which
to be
Kim
together.
said, if you get married, it's half and half.
yeah.
But I don't agree.
No, she didn't say it was half and half.
Yeah,
No, she said his money
is.
her money, our
Our
money.
money. That's all.
I think it should be his money is my money. My money
Is my money, and our money's
And that's
And our money, my money too.
And that's why some couples can't really flourish and grow together, because it's like all this stress and pressure on the man, and a woman just
You're
wants
right, five on that one.
oh my God.
No, but
Everybody
no.
money, my money.
No, see.
When my
That's
daughter
why
starts
I was
working,
like, you
it's
know
my
what?
money.
And that was a goal that I have. Like, I wanted to buy my house before I get married, because that's mine.
Right.
That's something you cannot take away, because that's something I had before I met you. And then if you have a house, cool, whatever, that's your house. If we buy a house later on together, that's our house, But
So he asked me how long I've been in my house, and I've been here 11 years. It was my grandfather's house, and I inherited. So my father, because I just got divorced a year and some change ago, like it finally went through. He would never put it in my name. And he was like,
He knew what he was
he's
doing.
not going to get none of this house. Like, that's
knew
your
what he was
house.
doing.
But it kind of fucked me up a little bit when he died, and now it's like part of.
But always, when you
everything
get
else.
married, you can also always put it in writing. You know, like this and that. Like, you know, this is my house. This is your house.
We knew my daddy was going to live forever, so
Right.
we didn't think that was going to happen. But you know,
You were young.
it worked out great because when we did get divorced, it was after my father, and we went to court, and it was like we ain't got nothing together.
So going
Not a
back,
damn thing, but a kid.
yeah, and
Right.
going back to what she was saying, like even if I am, like let's say for example, you were married before and you have kids, and I was married
Right.
before and I have kids, and we're sitting here and now we're buying a house together. It's important to sit down and have a conversation. Okay, so if you pass, what happens? Do the portion that you own in this home,
Yes.
does it go to your kids or does it all
Yes.
come to me?
Yes.
And it's so easy to talk about, and it's so easy to set
It makes
up.
people
Oh, it's
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, but it has
It
to
has
be
to
talked
happen.
about.
Yeah, it has to be talked about.
You never know what might happen to you tomorrow. You know,
don't.
so and what
I don't
about
wanna argue
if
with
you
your
something
kids
happens
about
exactly
something I'm paying on.
exactly. So
Right.
that has to be
That is
said.
like the worst.
And a fun fact about renting versus buying. You know, in the whole U.S., Julia did a buy versus rent index studio, like a study, and they came up that 26.3% is 26.3% cheaper to buy than to rent in the whole United States, and in Florida in specific is 30% cheaper to
That's
own
crazy.
a house than to rent. Rent is going up so
Rent is
high,
crazy here.
Orlando is number 2 in the United States of high rising rent prices. It's ridiculous.
Oh, rising, not like the house.
Yeah.
Rising,
it's
no,
not rising,
and
rising.
is number 1 for investment city
It
in
is.
Forbes magazine.
Look how we're growing,
the
yeah.
the prices in Orlando are still cheap compared. You see LA, you see New York, you see the prices are crazy.
They're
$1,000,000.
crazy.
You still can afford.
No,
to
yeah,
buy a
I
house
watch
here.
some people
So,
post like they're looking for an apartment or like rent, and I'm like, you pay how much?
Right.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And you can buy a house for way less. Then there's another thing that I hear a lot. Nah, but I can call a maintenance man. They come right away. Okay, so if you're paying $1,500 for a little itty bitty apartment, you can get you a nice house for $1,100. You put $400 away because clearly you can afford
your
it
maintenance fee,
Right.
right?
You put $400 in a bank account. When something breaks down, that money is there.
Is there.
And
It's
if you
there.
don't use it for that year, you can go shopping. bitch.
And then just like if the
And
AC
you can
breaks-
have a home warranty that is like $25, $30 a month that covers all your appliances, all your this, that, AC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Home warranty?
Yes,
Home
it's a
warranties,
home
yeah.
warranty.
Yeah.
Besides your insurance.
Is it like a little insurance for your...
For the
Huh.
minor thing, for the inside, like, you know, your microwave, your stove, your refrigerator, your washer and dryer.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they have
yeah.
different plans for a year. Let's say if anything breaks, like if your dryer breaks down or something like that, and it's covered under warranty,
Yep.
you pay like a service charge of $100, and they'll come out and try to fix it. If they can't fix it, then they'll go
They'll
ahead and
replace it.
replace it.
Huh.
So, and that's
like
home
that.
warranty
Yes.
costs about $500 to $600 a year.
Year.
So it's things that you can insure and stuff. And people think like, oh my God, I have all this responsibility when I buy a house. Yeah, but you also have insurances that you can cover yourself for as well.
Yeah,
So-
that's I hate when people do say that. And because when I think about it, I'm like, I've had to fix stuff. Like one time in
Yeah.
2012, I think it was, I had to redo my AC. It was $3,000
Right.
off the bat, but never again.
Home warranty.
Like,
And then
I
when
didn't have
you
to
get
do
ready
any
to
of that.
sell it,
Yes.
you just, hey, brand new AC that I just replaced 2 years
Right.
ago. That is a selling
It's
feature
great.
and
It's a selling
increase your
feature.
value.
There's
Yeah.
so many things like I want to fix about my house because it is an older house, but I love my house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting here like I don't want to
in a
rent
great
somewhere.
area. You have a lake, like literally
Behind me.
Yeah, like I was just telling her, like Orlando is. We have so many great
Hidden
areas,
gems.
Yes.
hidden gems, and yeah. So
It's insane. All right, so one more question that I have, and this one is another relationship. I guess relationships are pretty common. People were thinking like, we're
They
not
are.
married yet. What do we do? So this one says, my boyfriend and I have been dating for 5 years. Neither of us want to get married, but we do want to buy a home together because we have been renting for the past 3 years. What are your thoughts on buying a home with a boyfriend or girlfriend? You just answered that. If we did break up, how do things get settled with a house?
That's the thing.
And can both of our names be on it if we aren't married?
Yes.
can
So
I
you-
take that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You did answer the whole boyfriend
Yeah.
and girlfriend, but there's some people that don't want to get married.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get married again.
So then you look at it as an investment, okay?
Okay.
So, and that's when communication is key. Like I
Perfect.
said, you sit down, you come up with a will, you come up with agreements like, hey, if I
Vesting the
pass,
title
this
is the
and-
most important.
And you just look at it like we're investing in something together.
That makes
and you're
sense.
partners, because that's what you ultimately
You're partners,
are. You're
life partners.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, with the whole marriage situation, you know, Yeah, it's a partner, but we're partner legally. We're married. So what's yours is mine, and blah blah blah.
Right.
So
Look,
it takes all the red
as I
tape out.
said, communication
Communication.
is key. Always,
Right.
since the beginning. So if you know, okay, we're not there. We're not going to get married right now. We're not going to get married, I don't know when, or no time soon.
Or not at all.
Or
Some people
never
don't
at
wanna get
all.
married.
So the key is communication. Okay, so we're going to go 50-50 or whatever percentage, whatever.
Yeah.
You write it down. You put it on writing. This is the most important thing. You put it on writing.
Put it in
the
writing.
title is always the title company is always going to ask you how you want to vest your title.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you decide if something happens to you, who gets the part, if it goes to the business partner that's buying with you, or if it goes to your daughter, let's say in your case that you have a daughter, right? Would it go to her? Would it go to your mother? Would it go to who gets
Whoever.
that part, right? So that's a very important thing to decide.
But what
before.
about if we, like, the other question was if we break up?
Mm-hmm.
So now tomorrow, I don't like your ass no more. I don't want to live here with you anymore. What do we do? What are the options to break off the house if you're not selling it or outside of selling it?
Your partner either has the option to buy your portion, right? Or you sell it and then you split however you invested. If it was 50-50 with the proceeds, 50-50 of the proceeds of the sale proceeds go to each one of you.
How does the
Or-
buying the portion work?
Well, it's up to you. Like, for example, obviously the ideal situation would be 50-50 because if you're going...
No. Like you're saying buy out their
Buy
portion.
you out.
How do
So
you
let's
get
say,
out?
for example,
put
the
this
house
much
is worth
in.
$400,000, right? And if you sell it, this is how much you make. And yeah, hey, I'll go ahead and pay you $200,000 just to take over the whole entire house. You know, I can do that. Another option is, let's say you guys decide to break up and the market is a bad market and you're not going to make the money. Then you talk about it. You have to be mature enough to like, okay, should we go ahead and just rent this out and just become,
Oh, I didn't even think of that. You can rent it out
you
for a
can
while.
You can rent it out for a
while.
while. It's
And-
a business. Remember, it's
and
an
just have a
investment for
property
both
manager.
of you.
Yeah.
So it has to make sense in regards to the money. Do not involve your heart because obviously it's not
When
like a
emotions get involved.
relationship,
Yeah.
right? No, but if you buy a house with your partner and you don't see it being a marriage or whatever, then it is an investment. It is a business transaction, and you have to see it as such.
And you take emotions out of that. But that's why
Yep.
it's so hard to do. And this is why I always say,
It is very hard. So unless you're
married.
emotionally mature enough
you
to
have
do so,
Yeah.
if you have the emotional maturity to do so, then do it. If you are really involved, probably not the
Maybe
best
not.
idea,
And
But
it depends on you and your partner. You have to
Right.
look at it and say, hey, this man I'm deciding to go ahead and go into this investment with, if he's
Mm-hmm.
responsible, if he's going to try to F me over,
yep.
you
You gotta
something
see
happens.
the characteristics and in your partner. That's very important. Is he responsible? If she,
You know niggas ain't shit.
right, if he's a fan, is he gonna pay for everything?
Just
yeah.
kidding. Guys are nice sometimes. We need them. You know what? We need them, but we can't live without them.
Right.
Right.
All right. So we basically came together, try to get married to buy a house. If not, be very, very sure that it's a business partnership,
Yes.
that it's an investment, and
It's
if
a
something
business
goes down,
Yes.
we have it all in writing. We're not
Yes.
going to deal with emotions.
Exactly.
We should get a realtor to know what the hell we're
Absolutely.
buying. Whenever,
Yes.
don't go to those for sale by owners whenever you see
No.
them on the side of the road.
Oh my God, I hate that. Oh. So it's like it's like you coming to me and telling me to do your hair. It's like, well, I seen people do it, so let me go ahead and try to give you this color.
Let me go by YouTube.
You're not.
And
Yeah,
you
let me
don't
go off
know if,
YouTube.
if the owner, if he, like, let's say you try to sell your house, but it's not really under your name. How are you gonna know? If anybody has a lien under the property, how are you gonna know? How do you know if there's no 4 owners in the house instead of 1? How do you know that
How much
that
your home
title's
is
really
worth?
gonna if the price that you're paying is really fair? You know, for a buyer, it costs $0 to have a realtor represent you. 0.
So who pays?
The seller.
How you get paid?
The seller pays all the time. So if you're
Oh.
selling, the seller pays the commission all the time. So that's a very important thing that people need to know.
So wait, so what if the person wants to sell and they don't have a realtor? And they don't want to sell with a realtor. They want to sell by owner, so they don't have to pay a
Well,
realtor.
let me tell you something. 92% of the people that try to sell on their own end up listing with a realtor because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, people don't know what they're doing.
It's not that
it's a
easy.
specialty. It's
and you
not
know,
as
we
easy
have
as you
access to
think.
the MLS. We have access to all the best platforms. You know, really, if a realtor is not going to show up for sale by owner property, if you really want to get the best of your money and sell quick, you have to put it on the MLS because that's how a realtor see that you're.
So if I'm selling by myself and a buyer comes with a realtor, how much do you guys still get the same amount?
Oh, well, so the buyer, then the realtor would ask, hey, I'm coming with the buyer. In order for my buyer to buy with you, would you give me a commission of 3%?
If they say no, we don't bring it. If they say no, we don't bring it.
Then you bring it, then it's like, hey, you deal it with yourself.
Yep.
But let me tell you something. This is how I handle for sale by owners when people come to me. Hey, I can sell it by myself. Well, how many homes have you sold? Oh, and on average in my lifetime, especially when you're dealing with somebody that's older, I sold 2 homes. I did that last week. You know,
right.
I sell a lot. I do this every single day. This is
Not
my
only
specialty.
that,
I know this.
Not only that, but when people see that you're selling by owner, they're gonna lowball you because they know that you're cheap. You're trying to save money, so they're like, oh, they're not even paying commission. So I'm gonna, since he's not paying commission, I'm gonna offer this much less because he's saving all this money. So really, at the end of the day, if you're not gonna get top dollar,
it's just better. You go to a hairstylist for the hair. You go to a nail tech for your nails. You go to a doctor when you don't feel good. When you want to sell or buy a house, go to a realtor.
A realtor's gonna put you with a title company that's gonna do a title search, make sure your title's clear.
When you get your taxes, I'm not doing them, but go to an accountant.
Right, exactly. You know?
I don't want to do none of y'all's taxes.
So anybody, you can do whatever you want by yourself. Now, would
absolutely.
you have a good service, or would it be the best that you can do?
No, there's certain things that you can do. Like I wanted to braid my hair. I went on YouTube and braided my own hair. I know that I can take this bitch out whenever I want, and my hair is still under there. Will I try to go blonde by myself? Hell no.
Right.
Well, like, there's certain things that you can't do by yourself. We can, we do things at home and fix them up, and that's fine.
Right.
There's DIYs, but you're not gonna go and build a house.
Especially when we're talking about $200,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars, the biggest investment in your life. You should definitely get a representative, a professional to go ahead and represent you.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we got this one. So now that we have, there was something I did want to talk to you guys about. It's okay. Forget the time. Different streams of income. So real estate goes up and down, right? And times. So there's times where it's busy. There's times where it's not. And I think that I love both of you guys. I watch you guys. Like, I'm not super close with you guys, but you know me best. You know, Instagram and shit. I got like 1 million best friends on Instagram. But you guys have other revenues, streams of income. So most people put all their eggs in one basket and say, oh, I'm good with my job, or I'm good with just this one business. And I sit there and I think to some people, you know what, you should probably have different streams of income because you never know what can happen. So I have seen you, which I think is amazing because we are from Orlando and most people know that. So when Pulse happened, I used to go there all the time. And I feel like the niche that you hit with just tell us what you decided to do.
So I decided basically we don't have like a urban like gay night here. You know, basically I go to DC and I go to New York and all this other stuff, Atlanta, to get my whole urban gay fix. And I decided like, hey, why am I traveling to these places? Like, let me go ahead and create something that I don't have here. It's a perfect lane. So yeah, I basically just I throw like parties and stuff for my community that really represents me. So yeah, that's my little niche.
I still need to go. I'm so annoyed. Like every time I try to go, something has happened, or I'm out of town, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go and twerk too.
It's a great vibe. So it's basically young professionals. We all young black gay professionals, but it's not even gay. It's everybody that comes. That's my following. So everybody comes, and it's where you can come be yourself. Especially since Post is gone, it's nowhere that we can actually come and
There's
be
nothing.
A safe place where we can just be ourselves, and that's what I created for.
Afterwards, in our city at least, things decline, and there's this big stigma behind it. I can understand people saying, you know what, I've been there, it's hurtful, it brings back bad memories, but I feel like your community still needs somewhere to go, and I need somewhere to go and have a good time where guys aren't trying to grab my ass.
And trying to grab your ass, exactly. Where you can come and just be celebrated by other gay guys and just make you feel like the queen that you are. Exactly. They'd be like, girl, you look so good. I'm like, bitch, don't tell me twice. I start acting up. And to give a little, I try to give the whole straight experience for gay, straight people party different than gay guys, gay people. You guys have the best of the clubs, the best DJs and all this other stuff. Gay party in Orlando is not the same. It's like always a hole in the wall. The DJ sucks, all this other stuff. So I just basically use my straight connections and everything and just try to merge the two.
Money is money, honey.
Money is money, and we have a great time. So yeah, that's my little niche.
When is it again, so people can come out?
So the next one, I'm doing it quarterly and all this other stuff now because
She blew it.
And then you have to
She
question.
definitely did.
And you have to question yourself, like, hey, should I even be with someone like this? Like, why are you telling me all
that's
of this?
childish.
You're saying this to hurt me.
But
Right.
She's probably young. Because, you know, when you're 30, you would probably even want to mention that.
You don't let none of
You're
that.
just like,
know.
okay, baby, we're just going to go back.
None of your business what I did while we weren't together.
Right.
Yeah, but Tyrone, don't worry about it,
Don't
baby.
worry.
Let it go.
Don't worry.
And if you can't get over it, that's your insecurity, and let her
Yes.
go because
Yeah.
it's going to be
Yes.
completely miserable to be with
Yes.
someone who you keep bringing it up with. You're going to keep fighting.
And
It's
you
going
don't
to be annoying.
trust.
It's just let her go or get over it completely.
Right.
Amen.
Now, I have one from they're young, and I think
Okay.
it's so cute, and I was so in love when I was 19.
Oh,
She
my
says,
God.
she goes, hey, so my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. No, almost a year. I'm 19 and he's 20. I go to school for half the semester and work the other half as part of my program. He just works. We live in different states, and economically, we come from different backgrounds. Because I am blessed to have my parents always support me and more. And now I have a company that I'm working at that is paying a lot more than him because, frankly, I'm damn good at what I do. And the tech industry is where it's at. That's true.
Right.
Little tech
Yes.
It is.
It is.
She making that little shmoney. I honestly don't mind having to pay for things because I know that I am more financially secure one. But it is also has been a year, and my mom often warns me that I shouldn't get caught up with people who aren't on my level, especially when I'm not even out of college yet and already have big companies looking at me. Go ahead, girl. The thing is, he works hard. He isn't lazy. He just
Okay.
might not be able to have a girlfriend financially speaking.
Aw.
So I'm wondering, when does spending money on your boyfriend, especially when he doesn't spend much money on you, become unwise? Or am I just thinking about this too much? I'm only 19 after all. Ay, bendito, mamita.
Aw, baby. Now look, first of all, kudos to you because you're definitely smart. You got it going on for yourself. You're already popping, you know.
At
to have
19? Shit, I had another
girl,
baby.
You're doing it. So the thing is that you're young. So when you get older, you're going to see that everything is not love, baby. And then it is going to become an issue at some point if you keep making all this money and he's really not bringing anything to the table. So
I think-
you know.
Go
But
ahead,
if
tell
I
her.
think I honestly think at 19 you should be living your life, especially if you're
should.
making the money that
You should.
you're making good money. And you the
but
last
you
thing
should've-
on your plate should be, oh my God,
But
about
she's
this
paying
dude.
all
And
this
paying all
stuff.
these bills. You shouldn't have that.
I don't know if she's
No,
paying
you
all his
shouldn't.
bills.
That was
I
just
think
it.
it's just like maybe
No,
when,
like, when they
when they
go
go
out. When they go
or
out.
stuff like that, or if he has to
Yeah.
come over, she probably pays the Uber rides. Well, no, different states. I hope that's not Uber.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that invested into it. I was just
Yeah,
like,
just
hey,
have fun with him.
it's just have fun. That's what it should be at 19. It's you just having fun. You shouldn't care.
And yeah, I mean, but she could
Look at that. You hear the thunder? The thunder's telling her, girl, stop. Quit the bullshit.
Right.
No, that thing is that, you know, when you're young and you're in love, you're like, oh, I don't mind, and I'm gonna do
Right,
this.
which
I'm
is
gonna do
exactly
this.
the advice I'm going to give her. I remember when I was 19, 17,
Yes.
18, 19, you couldn't tell me
Nothing.
I was not going to spend the rest of my days with this
that
man.
dude.
Right.
Yep.
So basically, you're in love. Like, stick it out. If you want to be with him for a while, if it makes you feel good, if it's not putting strain on your money and
Yep.
into your goals, into your work, and if
Right.
you're not putting out more money than you should, keep him around. If you're in love and you feel like this is it and you see potential in it, because I feel like at 20, you can still see potential in someone.
Right.
At 30, not so much.
Right,
I'm
right.
not thinking about your potential.
The
I'm thinking
older
about
you
where
get,
you
the
are right now.
pickier you get.
So her mama is right. This is the same advice I would give my daughter.
Yeah.
Stop spending your little coins on some nigga.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't. Yeah.
You shouldn't, but if she's happy about it, hey, go ahead. Don't get yourself into anything that it's going to be no good for you afterwards. You're going to think about in another year. It's like I spent all my savings on Bobby over here who doesn't have a job. We don't have time for that. Like, don't do that, baby. But if you're happy, stay there. Once it becomes a problem, because she asked, when is it unwise? It's unwise when you're tapping into your savings,
Right.
when you're spending too much money, and if it's affecting your school
Yeah.
or the work that you're going to.
Exactly.
If it doesn't do any of that, and he's laying it down good right now while you're 19, maybe go ahead and take a
Right.
little good young dick and keep it moving.
Just don't
Exactly.
spend all your money,
Exactly.
girl. That's
Exactly.
all.
But the moment that it becomes because she's going to spend it on him, or she's going to spend it on some other bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's making you feel good to spend it with the boy, go ahead and do that. But know that you don't want to put yourself in a hole for no other man.
Yeah,
Right.
especially at 19. You
And
don't want to do that. So,
By
yeah.
21 or less than a year, you'll probably be over him anyway. And
Yeah,
you're going to find somebody
you
at
will.
that big company that's looking for you. You're going to have your eyes on that CEO.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't worry
So
about
focus on
it.
yourself at 19. Focus on
Yes,
building
girl.
yourself up.
You
have
got it
fun.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have fun. Don't
Yeah.
make it like you have to take care of him.
Yeah.
Shit, I took care of a man before, but that's we're not gonna talk about that right now. That is not where we're going or where we're taking this. But it was not fun. So, one more segment, and it's my favorite one. Shit talk! I get to do my favorite talk. And this one hit me hard. I did on the last episode. I know everyone by now has heard the whole LeBron James opening up the school, how great it is for kids, 3rd and 4th grade. He's doing all these things.
Yes.
And there's one man that right now, boy, does he irk me and everybody else, and that's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So he puts out a tweet. LeBron does an interview with Don Lemon about the school and just speaking about what he's doing. Some things came up, and here comes believe he asked LeBron like what he said with Trump, and he said, "I just want to sit with him." Like,
right.
Who wants to sit with him? Every person of color that sits with him ends up being a fucking mess, except for Kim Kardashian. Shout out to her for being able to do it, but that's white privilege right there.
That's white, 100% white privilege. Yeah.
So, like, shout out that she was able to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of hers, but she did it.
Kanye supports him all the way, so.
Right. Well, I don't have to be a fan of yours to say that you did something that was good. Just like I'm not a fan of LeBron's as a player. I don't know him as a person or anything else. I'm just a basketball fan. I'm not a fan of his. But when I saw this, I'm like, yo, shout out to you because that's awesome.
Right.
So this tweet that comes from Cheeto says, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. LeBron is out here making a change for our society, for our children, for our minority children, black and brown kids, and you are putting our black and brown kids in a cage and separating from the parents.
Yes.
So who is the fucking idiot in this? This is not a LeBron thing. This is you having your own issues with yourself, because instead of making maybe a school where you could have put these children that came here for asylum, for their families that were bringing them over for a better life, for less, whatever they were coming from, America, as shitty as it can be for black and browns, is better than where they came from.
Right.
And instead of saying, you know what, I might have to even if he were to separate them, put them in somewhere where it was a school or somewhere for them to better themselves until their parents were able to come.
You put him in a fucking cage. Yeah.
You put him in a cage.
He is a fucking LeBron fan. Like, that's what he is. And he's just mad that, LeBron is not responding or taking him off or even acknowledging, like, hey, I'm a fan. Like, pay attention to me.
Let me speak on this.
He's a celebrity in chief, a celebrity in chief, like Charlamagne says. Like, I swear by Charlamagne's words sometimes.
Right.
He'll piss me off sometimes. But you know what? It's cool. He says he's a celebrity in chief, and that's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity, and he's not a president.
Yeah,
the thing is that because, let's say, I got a background in politics. I was Consul General of Guatemala. Just in case you didn't know. I was Consul General.
What's that mean?
I was basically the ambassador of Guatemala in Miami. When there's too many people from your country in a different country, you are only allowed to have one embassy, which is in DC. But if there's other people a lot of them living in Florida, a lot of them living in LA, they open consulate, which is like a mini embassy, right? So I was in charge of the one in Miami. So that's the consulate.
And what do you do? What do they ask you?
I was consulate general. So you issue passports, you issue travel permits, you issue double nationalities. Like it says, say your kid was born here, but you're really from Guatemala. So you can also have the double nationality and have them be Guatemalan in case they get deported.
Double citizenship.
They can go double citizenship. Also, when somebody gets arrested, and the same cases of right now, like the separation of the parents, the consulate was in charge of that. So that's something that's been happening for a while. That's nothing new. That's something that not to defend him, obviously, because it's still inhumane, like what he's doing. Because it's been happening. It's always been happening. They always separate children from their families, and it's horrible. But
he just did it in like a massive move right now.
Massive, and not only that, but because they're so saturated, they had to do all these cages thing, which
it's just ridiculous. That's animals. That's why
it's so terrible.
That's why I picked up my pit bull from. When I got my pit bull from the pound, they were in the same fucking cages they have these children at. Yeah. But the whole point of this one that you are sitting here speaking as the president of the United States. We're supposed to be such a strong country. We're supposed to be better.
And he's not doing nothing wrong. LeBron's doing something positive for the country.
And you're
calling him dumb.
Demeaning him.
And he called Don Lemon.
But basically, he called LeBron also dumb because he's like, it's not.
Right, he said he makes him look smart. But the last part was, I like Mike. What the fuck does Michael Jordan have to do with any of this? If Michael Jordan didn't open a school, who cares? Why put focus into someone that's not doing something for the community? Right. If he is,
with all the millions he got from the Jordans, girl.
He might be, and we don't know about it.
He
might not want to be doing as big as LeBron is, and even if he isn't,
we might not know.
There are people that are. Right. Like Chance the Rapper. I think, is he the one from Chicago?
He is. Yes.
He's the one that's doing things in Chicago. I'm terrible with these names. Yes. But I feel really proud of myself for knowing this. I'm really proud right now. I was gonna be like Chance Rich Homie or something like that. I don't know, but for coming. I loved you guys. I would love for you guys to come back on sometime and we can talk a little shit. This was fun. How can they find you guys?
So I am on Instagram, Facebook. My Instagram is Tony_the_realtor, and my Facebook is Anthony Bertram. Bertram is spelled Bertram. My event page for anybody that's looking to come out and have a great time for my events is Bertram Productions.
I'll tag all of this in the notes.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah,
my personal one is the Queen G Baby. My real estate page is Golden Black, GOLDENBLAQUE. That's where you find all the real estate tips and all the updates for real estate. And then my hair and lashes page is / hair and lashes, Instagram and Facebook.
Get your own lashes, ladies.
Yes, girl.
I had started doing what are them things called? Yeah. But I can't do that. I have to keep up with it.
I don't either.
I can't keep up with shaving my legs.
Every 2 weeks you look crazy, right?
I look up alopecia.
The things that you girls go through is crazy. Oh my God, we were just talking about the way over here.
Listen, like Erica Jane said, it's expensive to be me, you know?
It is very expensive. I just got a chemical peel the other day and I haven't worn makeup. I put powder on because you guys were coming in. I knew you were coming in here slaying. So I was like, let me put some powder on. But I put powder on, but I haven't been wearing makeup. I haven't done my hair. I'm having a great time. I'm like, this is what men... that's what y'all do.
I haven't brushed my beard today, and that's how nappy it is. So it's like, just wake up and go, and nobody will question me. But you can't come outside nappy head. They're gonna look at you some type of way.
Right.
So I feel for you guys.
This is great. So if you guys need any real estate tips or are in the Florida area, are you guys licensed anywhere else?
Anywhere in Florida. But they can contact us if there's anybody that wants to buy outside of Florida. We have agents around the country that can help you.
Definitely.
So you can refer them to them. So you guys go ahead and reach out to them. I can help y'all with that. I'll send y'all to Craigslist. You gonna get it's gonna be a bad deal. Anywho, so you can find us again, Shit I'm 30 Podcast on Instagram, and you can load and listen to the show anywhere you listen to your podcast. And make sure to please leave a review and a rating on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can leave comments and we can chit chat back and forth. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.